What gives me goosebumps is actually just sitting still in the stillness of the safari and listening to the wildlife as they go about their day. I mean, you can never get enough of that. Huh? I know a lot of the time you're out there, you're excited, talking, you're talking about what you're seeing. But for me, it's stillness, those special moments when you just lay back, no one's talking, and you're just listening and looking at the wildlife as they go about their day. Those, for me, are the most special moments.
Earlier this year, we traveled to Kenya for a safari experience that completely changed how we see Africa.
Yes, it did. And one of the people who helped make that journey possible was the very sweet and humble Paul Chege, CEO of Tembo Wild.
And we sat down with Paul to talk about what makes Kenya such a special safari destination, what the experience is actually like, and what first-time travelers like you need to know before they go.
We also talked about the people, the culture, and why a safari is so much more than just seeing animals.
So if an African safari has been sitting on your bucket list, this conversation may be the push you need.
Tell us a little bit about Tembo Wild.
So Tembo Wild is a destination management company, a travel company. We are based in Nairobi, Kenya. We curate leisure, luxury travel experiences across Africa, across 11 countries in Africa. And this is from different experiences, from safari, cultural experiences. We even have wine experiences, historical experiences. So across different countries in Africa.
What inspired you to start Tembo Wild?
So what inspired me, I was actually for many years living out my life as an executive in corporate, in senior C-suite roles across different companies. And at some point, I just got overwhelmed with the corporate life. However, I had always had a passion and interest in travel, particularly across Africa. I had an interest in culture. I had an interest in meeting new people, engaging new people. And one day I just dropped my corporate hat and jumped into the travel industry. People, I actually don't think of what I do as a job. It's just an opportunity to explore the world, meet new people, enjoy life.
What makes a safari in Kenya different from other safari destinations around Africa?
A couple of things. So first of all, we have quite a number of national parks, game reserves, and also private sanctuaries and conservancies, which are more exclusive, so offer you a more exclusive game viewing and safari experience than other countries may have. We are also home to the amazing, great annual migration of wildebeest and other animals from the Serengeti into the Masai Mara. And Kenya is also special because you can combine, apart from just safari, you can combine the city life with beach experiences as well as safari experiences. Nairobi, Kenya is also the only city in the world with a national park right at the center. And I believe you
Yes, yeah, it is amazing.
Had an
Amazing.
amazing time there. So you know what you mean. You know, with the backdrop of the city, you're viewing wildlife, lions, zebras, rhinos.
If someone only had one safari location to visit here in Kenya, where would you send them?
I would send them to the Masai Mara. I think that's where you get a good mix of very scenic landscapes. You get the big five that are there. You get, depending on the season, you also get an opportunity to view the Great Migration. You get cultural experiences because of all these Maasai villages that are around the park that you can go and visit.
What surprises people the most once they're actually on safari?
So what I found surprises people the most is actually how close you get to the animals. I think the expectation coming on safari is that you'll only be seeing animals from a distance. But the reality is, I mean, you have these animals come right by your jeep.
Yes.
Some even brush against the jeep, so they're pretty close. That's really amazing because you get to interact with them very closely. You can take amazing photos and videos with just your phone.
What level of accommodations do you feel most safaris offer today compared to what people might imagine they'd be staying in?
They are usually pleasantly surprised with the level of comfort with regard to accommodations when you're in safari in the bush. And there are different types of properties. You have lodges, which are rooms, like your typical room, but you also have tented camps. And by tents, let's think more glamping.
Yes.
than your tent out when you're camping. These are very high-end tents. You have good washrooms, just like you have in your home. nice shower, king-size beds,
Yes.
and amazing beddings, and very attractive. So we have, I think that's what people don't expect when they come here. We have 5-star properties and 5-star plus properties. I mean, levels of luxury and sophistication, which is hard to imagine before you come and experience it.
Are safaris physically demanding, or do you feel most travelers are going to be able to participate comfortably?
Oh, so I think they're comfortable. So you are on rough roads because you're out in the wild. So you are off the tarmac roads in the bush. But we have amazing driver guides who, know the most comfortable routes to take in the game parks. We have had a lot of clients who are seniors. Some in their 80s, some in their 70s, who, participate in these game drives and really enjoy them. So it is definitely a bit rough from what you're used to if you're always on an asphalt or tarmac paved road, but it is pretty comfortable. The jeeps we are in are comfortable. They are reinforced with reinforced suspension, so they are not as bumpy as you may think.
So, a lot of people worry that Africa is complicated to travel to. What does that journey actually look like for someone that's coming from the U.S.?
So from the US, we actually have direct flights to several African cities. I'm in Nairobi. We have a direct flight from JFK to Nairobi. It's a daily flight. You have direct flights to Cape Town, to Johannesburg, and also different other cities across Africa. And so that portion of your trip is pretty straightforward. Once you're in the country, once you arrive in Nairobi, we have VIP and meet and greet services. We pick you once you disembark from the plane, and I think you experience that. So
Yes.
It just gives you some level of comfort when you see your name up once you get off the plane and are escorted through the airport terminal. And then once you get out of the airport, you have my team there waiting for you to escort you and handhold you through the entire travel experience when you're in country. So it's pretty straightforward. We have you, take care of you, and it should not be anything to worry about. Yeah.
So how many days do you believe somebody needs to spend in Kenya to truly experience what a safari is like without feeling rushed?
Okay, so my recommendation would be a minimum of 7 nights, Kenya. But in my opinion, the ideal time period would be 12 to 14 nights.
Why is it important for visitors to interact with Kenyan culture and not just the wildlife?
You only get to know, truly know a place and the heartbeat of a place and what drives a place if you engage with the culture. You get to understand your fellow man, the fellow human being that you meet there, what drives him, his background, how he lives and communes. I think that is the spirit of a true traveler, not just what you're going to see there. And I think that's why it's very important when you do come to Kenya, when you visit Kenya, interact with the locals, get to talk to them, get to understand them, get to hear their stories. Everyone on this earth has a story.
Yes.
You do too, I do, and it's been interesting. The past couple of days we've exchanged our stories.
Yes.
And I think that's what makes travel truly fulfilling.
How does responsible safari tourism help support conservation here in Kenya?
So I think conservation is an entire ecosystem, and without even directly supporting certain conservation initiatives, I think just by your presence as a tourist coming into Kenya to experience what we have to offer, the safaris, viewing the wildlife, all those dollars do somehow end up supporting the conservation efforts.
Okay.
Every park that you visit, there are park fees that are paid. In some parks, more steeper than others. But those park fees go to basically maintaining those parks and protecting the wildlife. If you look at experiences that we curate, like visiting the Sheldrick Fan Trust, where you have the elephant orphanage, you have an opportunity to adopt baby elephant there, and that $50 that you put down supports conservation.
What role do local communities play in the safari experience?
Now, if you look at each of the properties we stayed at, these properties were in national parks that are protected or conservancies. Now, the employees in these properties almost entirely come from the communities that surround these destinations. These communities, that's where you find rangers who are now protecting the wildlife have come from. They appreciate and realize how unique Kenya is as a destination. It's very different from anywhere else you've ever been. Not just because of the wildlife, I think also because of the people you get to meet here, because of different cultural experiences that you get to see. I think also it breaks a lot of myths or misconceptions you may have about Africa from the moment you land at the airport and drive through the city.
So if someone watching this video is thinking about a safari for the very first time, what would you say to them?
I would say to them, don't think too long. You've thought about it enough. Just book your tickets and fly over. And we'll take care of you. Tembo Wild will take care of you. Terry and Addy will plan your trip exceptionally. And don't think too much about it. You need to do it. You need to come. You need to experience this.
And Paul is right. At some point, you have to stop thinking about it and actually go.
That is exactly why we are hosting our own fully curated Kenya group experience in March of 2028, built in partnership with Tembo Wild.
We'll be spending 7 days traveling from Nairobi to Lake Naivasha and the Masai Mara with only 16 guests total.
This is not a quick safari stop. We're talking about Nairobi, a full day with the Masai community, a walking safari, a Kenyan cooking class, luxury tinted accommodations, and game drives in the Mara.
And on top of that, if you're not ready to go home after that, there's also going to be an optional Diani Beach extension.
We'll be there hosting the group every step of the way, and the entire experience has been designed so you can focus on Kenya instead of worrying about all the details.
Now, there are only a limited number of spots available, so go to addyandterry.com/Kenya 2028 to see the full itinerary, the pricing, what's included, and how you can reserve your place.
Come experience Kenya with us.